Hello everyone, I'm Tony Southcott.
And I'm Kmet, and here's another Human Echoes review. Today we're talking about The Turning.
Yeah, and this is a fairly recent movie that possibly one of the least highly rated films of 2020 already. We're only in May, but it's only the second movie to receive an F rating on a lot of other websites. And we're going to see if it really lives up to that sort of abysmal, not hype, but like the infamy behind it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
There's so many worse movies than this.
Well, the only other one that got an F this year was The Grudge. I think people are tired of remakes, and I think people are tired of certain...
This was a remake from like the 1950s, though.
Yeah,
So I feel like that's not the same.
It's still a good remake, though. I think it was called like The Invisibles or something like that. Like it's a very strange remake from the 50s, but it's also based off of an old short story from, I want to say,
Henry James.
And it's like really old.
It's from The Turning of the Screw, which is late 1800s, early 1900s story. And it takes place in Maine, shot in Ireland. Pretty sure there isn't a single thing in Maine as old as the house that this is being shot in, but that's okay.
That makes sense. I know nothing.
It's a very, very moody film, and I can appreciate a lot of what it's doing with its atmosphere, with the feel of the entire film. But a lot of my criticisms come towards the end of the movie. Where do you stand on this?
I didn't hate this movie. I could see where a lot of people would hate it. My opinion over the whole thing is that there was nothing wrong with it, but there was nothing really standing out that made me adore this movie.
Yeah, and that's where it hit for me too, it's not meh even, because there's a lot of technical things that look really good here.
Moody is very, very good. It was a moody movie.
And there's even some cool plot things. There's some decent effects. There's nothing that should pull you away, but it's just not as engaging of a story as it should be. And I haven't figured out exactly why it didn't work for me as well as some of these other movies. And once again, I wouldn't give it an F rating personally. I wouldn't say that it's horrifically bad.
It's a solid C. It's
yeah,
a C
like that's
movie.
the problem with this, is that whenever I saw the trailers, I was like, this just feels so middling to average in every way.
I didn't hate it. There was nothing wrong with this movie, but saying that there's nothing wrong with something is not the greatest.
Yeah, it just comes back to the fact that it's average.
Yeah.
The acting performances are probably a little higher.
Well, and the movie itself, there's not a whole lot to talk about with this.
Yeah, we can't even talk about things without getting into massive spoilers about, especially certain ambiguities with the end of the movie. That might be another video entirely.
But I think it's time to move on to the rubric.
We have 5 categories. Each category is worth 2 points, with the ending result being an out of 10-point system. The first one is directing, and directing is a very heavy umbrella.
This is the strongest category I have for it here. Like, I actually gave this one a 1.5. I felt that the director was able to create something moody, to pull something out of the actors that was actually pretty decent for child actors. Although, like, the son character is such a veteran actor at this point that he's not really he's not really a child actor in the conventional sense.
I agree.
The main character was fine, but like, she was sort of milquetoast. There wasn't a whole lot interesting about her. It was just average. But I did like the look of the movie a lot.
Yeah, I gave the directing a 1.5 also. I thought that the screenplay wasn't bad. The cinematography was actually very beautiful in this movie. The shots, the coloring, the lighting and whatnot, I liked it a lot. But like I said, it's very mid for me.
I feel like that's elevated mostly because of the filming location. Like, it was a great location for a horror movie. We've seen it in other movies before. I actually had it written down, but I can't find my note on it. It's a very well-known place. Having the good setting isn't enough to accelerate this into something better. Mm-hmm. And the director did a fine job with what they were given, but they could do better.
The second category that we're going to be talking about arguably can make or break any movie.
Especially genre movies.
Yeah, and that's acting. What did you give it for acting?
For acting, I gave it a solid 1. I was saying that they pulled an average performance out, and the 1 is an average. It's not anything that particularly blew me away, but it also didn't detract from the movie. Like some people were a little bit obvious. Like you've got the original like caretaker lady of the house who's just average. You've got the main character. She could have been anybody. She's pretty, but there's not much else to her.
Story of my life.
I didn't feel anything particular towards any of these people. Like,
yeah, the acting wasn't terrible. I gave it a 1 myself. It's definitely not terrible, but it's just like I wasn't pulled in by any incredible monologues or even the little kid who's creepy. I wasn't just like, whoa, like that guy's like creepy.
He did an okay job showing like a kid that's sort of an early psychopath, not like a legit psychopath. He's angry about what happened with his parents. He's a little ragey. He might be lacking a little in empathy.
Everybody around him is okay. No, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, like he's an asshole, and that's all there is to it. Like that's
a rich asshole.
Yeah, just a snobby rich asshole.
Yeah, there you go.
He plays that character fine, but he doesn't do anything different that makes it better.
Now the next category I think is actually my favorite when it comes to horror movies, and it's atmosphere. That is basically like the creep value or the scare value. I loved the atmosphere of this movie. I gave it a 1.5. It is the lighting and the cinematography just made it kind of creepy. It made the house creepy, and I can really appreciate that. There's a scene in the basement that I really appreciated, and they amped it up a lot. So I gave it a 1.5 for that.
And I agree. I think this is the strongest point of the movie is the atmosphere. They had a great place to work with. I wish that they'd done a little bit better on the script, but they nailed the atmosphere.
The next category is rewatchability. Basically, are you going to want to watch this again next week, in a day, in a month, in a year? Never. What did you put for it?
I put a 0. I'm not coming back to this movie.
Apparently, I gave it a 1.5 during the time, and I don't know why.
Maybe it's to like try to figure out some of the things that happened. See, like there is a lot of foreshadowing. There's things you could come back to. It rolls into the next category, the reason why I'm not going to go back to it, and that's the did you like it score. And I gave it a 1 because it was just so middle of the road.
I gave it a 1 also. I don't know why I put 1.5 for rewatchability.
Well, you can always change that too.
I wrote these immediately after watching it, so I'm going to stick with it, I guess. But overall, this movie wasn't terrible. If you're looking for a horror movie that's going to surprise you and be innovative in any way, this is definitely not it. If you're looking for something a little bit more fun to watch with maybe your best friend or something, and it's on TV, free on demand somewhere, then I would take a look at it.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at. I wouldn't pay to see this movie again. If it was on Netflix, I might be like, whatever. But that's the story of this movie. Everything is just straight down the middle, paint by numbers horror with a pretty face.
Yep, I agree. What did you think of this? Was this movie that you really enjoyed? What did you think of the ending? We all know we don't really want to talk about it in here, but did you like the ending? What do you think happened? I don't know.
Yeah, talk about it in the comments with full spoilers. If people really want me to, I'll give my diagnosis on like the ending. I will say exactly what I think happened. I'll even make a video about it. But we need some people to comment below to see if that actually, if that's something you guys want.
And for more movie discussion, check out our Discord. That will be in the description below. We will talk about movies with you till we're blue in the face pretty much.
Yeah,
so.
like it's a major thing for us.
Yeah, check it out.
Thank you all for watching. Please hit that sub button. Please hit like if you liked it, share with a friend. And we will see you with more reviews here at Human Echoes.
Bye.